What's up, 208 family? Thanks for hanging with us this evening. It's November 12th, 2024. Lots to talk about. Ads drops. We're going to do a little bit of some trade talk, maybe some mid-season awards this year. And can anybody please beat the Chiefs? Let's talk about it. We'll get going here. Let's roll. We got to start now. Good evening, everybody. There's lots going on. The Chiefs, can they get just lucky every game?
We all had it together. Get it together. We all had the worst weekend. Okay, the Saints beat the Falcons.
That's true.
Okay, the Bears are just bad. They're as bad as they've ever been.
I know.
And the Broncos with a chance to upset the Chiefs. Guys, I want you to know, I couldn't believe it. I was at the gym. A public gym when it happened, and I was getting my lift on. I tell you, I was lifting all the weights. It felt like max day. The Broncos were up. Life was good. And then I yelled verbally out loud, made a huge scene when that was blocked. It was tough. Oh, I hated my life for a whole hour that weekend.
Well, it happens. At least you're not the Bears. The Bears fire their OC. The Bears talked about benching Caleb Williams, making complete buffoons out of themselves. I'm convinced, which I've already known, it starts at the top of that organization. So here and there, at least you guys have things to look up to. I'm not so sure the Bears are. We'll see what happens with Waldron now gone. So this week, there's not a lot of news out there, fellas, in fantasy football world. That I could find or that I was diving into. Gentlemen, either one of you guys?
Yeah, just a few things. Isaiah Pacheco, he's been designated to return from IR. So
we've been expecting him.
I still think that he's probably 2 weeks away from playing. I mean, they open up the 21-day practice window. My expectation is that they use at least 14 of those 21 days. To get him back to where he's going to go. And it doesn't hurt anyone but Kareem Hunt, if he comes back. And it probably helps all of the receivers. DK is expected to practice Wednesday. I mean, after he was, after their bye and his hurt knee, he had some time off. So he's expected to try to practice Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. The Shane Waldron firing happened.
Thank goodness.
And outside of that, there wasn't much.
The Giants said they might come out and bench Daniel Jones.
Oh yes, there has been some Drew Lock chatter, which is some of my favorite chatter.
I think the Giants just try to lose out. I don't know. They got to get a quarterback.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants do what Denver did last year with Russell Wilson, where they just sit him, right? Because if anything happens to Daniel Jones at this point in his contract, if he gets hurt and can't pass a physical on another team next offseason, he's fully guaranteed his 2025 salary. So it's a better bet for them to really bench him. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank goodness for the rookie phenom on that team, Tyrone Tracy. You know what I'm saying?
He's a freak.
Oh, they got a couple of young guys. Neighbors, Tracy. They found a little bit of foundation to work with. So
they got some dudes. Wendell Robinson's a good player. Like, they just need. I don't know. I think Dayball's a decent coach, but I think they just need something new. I don't know what it is, but
I can't wait for our offseason chat about what fantasy players are going to fix teams. That's my jam.
Yeah.
Yep. We do definitely start getting into that. Let's jump right into the waiver wire. Let's get some guys. Chance, let me start with you. Who are a couple of guys that you were looking for this week?
I think
you think you should go get.
I think that being the Broncos guy, I think Audric Estime is definitely a guy that you should go out and see. He should be available on so many waivers, but he to me is the number one priority ad if you're in need of a running back. I mean, Javonte Williams got one touch on the ground this week. One. So that with what Audric Esme was able to do. I mean, he wasn't super productive with the touches he got, and he did not see a lot of passing game work, but he's available. He's like only 3.9% owned. So he's a guy that I think you should go out and get. I think the Broncos still want to stay in contention. And Sean Payton, as somebody who follows the team, he has said for weeks and weeks and weeks that they want to get their young guys going. And Audric Esme, to me, is the perfect example of what that looks like and where they're going to go. And you're not going to have a ton of great weeks, but they have a 5-game stretch where they could be really, really productive offensively. I mean, they're going to play the Falcons, who we just saw have zero defense. You know, they play the Raiders again. They'll have a tough Chargers matchup. They play the Colts as well. So I think you're looking at a good stretch where they're going to be pretty productive offensively. And Audric Esme is the guy to own in that situation. Sadly, rest in peace, Javonte Williams.
Yeah, he's probably done.
Justin, anybody you're adding this week that you say, hey, you know what? He's sitting out there?
There's 2 guys that I want to talk about. The first one, this is the time of year when you start taking bets on young guys, like Chance kind of alluded to. We're week 11 right now, so those rookies should start getting a little bit more work. Ricky Pearsall, I did not know he had that type of gas. I didn't know he was that explosive of an athlete. He had a pretty good snap share, it's a 64%. He's the wide receiver 9 on the week, 15 points, 6 targets, 4 receptions. I think Jauan Jennings is gonna fill that Ayuk role, but I think Pearsall can at least carve something out and be somewhat relevant in deeper leagues as a flex play. If you have 3 wide receivers, maybe he could be something for you. The next guy, snap share is not where I want it to be, but he looked good, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. And I'm starting to like this Chargers offense.
Yeah.
It's hyped up to what I thought it was going to be. I'm just like, Justin Herbert is looking good. I mean, if Joe Burrow wasn't having the weeks he was having, I think Justin Herbert would be a little bit more talked about right now. He's playing really well. But, I mean, Gus did 10 for 55, which is a really great average. It'll be interesting if they go away from JK. But the only thing with JK is he's getting a ton of route percentages out of the backfield. But Gus is a good handcuff to JK, who's been really good this year.
Yep, for sure. A couple of guys I like, we can mention them. Cedric Tillman out there is a guy like he's owning 50, just about 50%. Chance mentioned, yeah, he has to be on if he's sitting out there. Parasol was another guy that I was going to talk about. Jaylen Warren is up there. Just be mindful. Jaylen Warren could increase some snap shares. I like him a lot. If he's on your bench, keep him. Don't get rid of him.
Totally agree.
And my guy that it's I got to get to my game log here, but my guy that's interesting, and maybe it's a little bit too late, but I think if anything, he's going to be a good stash. Trey Benson. Keep an eye on Trey Benson. He had 10 carries for 62 yards last week against the Jets. I'm thinking he might get a little more work. So
what a weird game! What a weird game that was. What, the Jets are just like, all right, we're done playing football. They just get killed by the Cardinals. I don't understand that team.
They are a hot mess. And against the Bears, he had 8 carries for 32 yards and 37 yards and a touchdown in a blowout win against a pretty good Bears defense. But like we mentioned, the Bears are in disarray right now, and I'm losing hope. But anyway, those are my guys.
Any thoughts on Russell as a streaming option?
I think Russell's a great streaming option.
Yep, I did last week.
If you have Baker Mayfield and he's on bye this week, that's a great one. Go.
Would you rather start Russell or Drake May?
Russell Wilson.
Okay, just curious. I like Drake May a lot. He looks really good.
He does look good. I just think Russell Wilson is going to give you more. He's going to give you more production in ways that you can bet on, right? Like those moon balls, and he has receivers that we really trust. Like if you can go trade for George Pickens right now, go trade for George Pickens right now.
Trade him away.
That's right. So I do want to flip here. Those are ads. I do want to talk about some drops. That's, you know what? Go ahead and drop these guys. You held on to them long enough. Let's go in reverse over here, Justin. Who are you dropping? Here's a guy that's like, you know what? You can let him go.
I mean, there's a bunch of these quarterbacks Rick, this is rough. This is such a rough question. I like ought to take. I just want to like hoard all these players all the time. Let's see. Is CJ Stroud droppable? I don't know. Geno Smith, Sam Darnold. Like, they have not played super well. Those are just some guys that come to mind. I'm looking over wide receivers right now, just to kind of.
I've got a wide receiver that I am currently dropping for defense this week. I'm dropping Deontay Johnson.
100%. That's my guy too. He's time
fair.
to let him go. He went to the Ravens and he's not going to do anything there.
He's already upset too. That's the thing. He's already being loud about it.
Is
too.
he? I hadn't seen that.
He's like, well, you'll know the full story when it comes out, like this and that. But what about Mostert? How do we feel about Mostert?
I think Mostert. It's just so hard because I just don't know if the Dolphins know who they are yet. Like with Tua back, like, and
we're getting pretty late. You better figure it out.
It's getting late early. You're 100% right, but I just don't know if they're gonna continue to feed him the ball. I mean, like, he had 0 rushing attempts against the Rams. Like, he never once rushed the ball. He had 3 targets, and that's it. I think he's droppable.
Okay. What about any of the Bears wide receivers?
I think you could drop DJ Moore. I think you could drop all 3 of them. Are you going to hold on to Rome Odunze and hope he does something for you?
I'm not dropping DJ Moore.
Really?
No.
Not with the revamp of the OC coordinator. So the Bears are still in it. The Bears, they have to do something. So you're playing this is how I view it. Could you chance? Yes. You're like, if I don't need somebody like him, I could drop him. However, I feel like they've got to find a way to get the players involved and get them back on course. One of the things you do is you fire your OC and we say, okay, we're going to make things simple again. We're going to go back to making it easy for Caleb Williams and stop trying to run things that a veteran quarterback would run, because that's where they're screwing up. Watch any analyst, they'll tell you the same thing. Go back and make it simple. We're going to check down passes to Swift. We're going to get Cole Kmet involved and DJ Moore. Those are the 3 guys that you have to get going. Their offense was so atrocious last week. I mean, abysmal. I mean, a total offense was so bad. I think it was 3.6, 3.8 yards per play last game. Awful. So I'm of the mindset to say, yeah, I'm willing to gamble. Give me DJ Moore. He's too talented, and they're going to try to get him the ball. That's just my own thought, but I wouldn't fault you if you wanted to drop him. All of them.
Green Bay, Minnesota, Detroit, and then San Francisco are their next 4 games.
I don't think you can drop DJ Moore. Usually when teams fire their OC, they always have some sort of juice. So I think you gotta wait maybe 1 or 2 weeks. My next one, the next triplet is Green Bay wide receivers.
That's so hard. I almost agree. So hard.
It's like
just the floor.
Situation. I just don't know who. Like Wicks, I think Wicks should be the guy, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Just hasn't been good this year. Romeo Dobbs has been up and down. Christian Watson is always hurt. That wide receiver group is weird.
No, I certainly agree. What about I just had him pulled up here. I was thinking something else. What about Brian Thomas Jr.?
I don't think I'd drop Brian Thomas Jr. I still think that he is a guy that they want in this offense, and they want to see what they have in him. I would be less inclined to drop those rookie, like you said earlier, like you keep an eye out for some of those rookies that are gonna get prominent roles moving forward. And I think Brian Thomas Jr., they don't serve themselves anything dropping him or or reducing his targets or reducing his play. I think he's just going to continue to get the ball as they, see what they have in him and get him adjusted and really ramped up to go into the offseason. I'm a hold on him.
Yeah. Their next couple of games are Detroit, then they have a bye, Houston, Tennessee, the Jets, and the Raiders.
He's going to be a guy they roll out there. The reason I bring it up, for your fantasy football mindset do they start shutting him down a little bit? Do they go, okay, you know what, we're like in the playoffs? Is he going to be useful to you in playoffs? I don't know. We'll see. I had one more guy. What do you do with Jordan Mason?
This is tough. His snap percentage was so bad. It's 5%.
So bad.
Like,
I think if you're going to sit on Trey Benson because you think
No.
Connor,
gotcha.
Jordan Mason, but if you're going to sit on Trey Benson, you got to sit on Jordan Mason. You know what I mean? Like the odds of James Conner getting hurt to me at some point to finish out fantasy are no different than the odds of CMC getting hurt. So, I mean, I just have a hard time.
Sure.
I'd have a hard time dropping Mason if you're competitive and if you have CMC. If you don't have CMC, you could drop him, but the CMC manager better pick him up.
Yep, as a hand, he's arguably the most valuable handcuff in the league right now. So, just curious. It's hard to sit a guy that's not going to produce. Like, I don't know if you need to clear somebody because you need a now thing. It's like then yeah, I could see you dropping him. But fun stuff. Fun. I do want to talk a little bit about. Let's get into some trades. Lots of trade. We love trades. Trades. So in a lot of leagues, we are 1 week away, or maybe this is your last week, or possibly 2 weeks away before your trade deadline, in that window for sure. Who are some guys that you need to trade away or trade for to improve your team, right? Give me some buy low, sell high guys as of right now.
Ooh. That's
Who wants to go first?
God. So it's funny because we spoke about him before, but I do think there are a lot of people out there that are gonna sit on CeeDee Lamb because he's CeeDee Lamb. I think you should trade away CeeDee Lamb. I think if you are a contender and you have the ability to go out and get something for CeeDee Lamb, he has nobody who can throw him the ball the rest of the season. I mean, there's just I don't think he is quarterback proof like Justin Jefferson. And Lineberry's laughing because Lineberry just traded for CeeDee Lamb today.
But my team's 1-8.
The format's the format is. We have to understand the format because Justin's probably right in this. So you want to explain that, Justin? Why you traded?
I
for
was
CeeDee Lamb?
given a piece of crap team. Inherited a piece of crap team because Chance invited me to a keeper league. And I was like, I just need good players. So I got offered George Pickens. It's the fastest I've ever. I got offered CeeDee Lamb. It's the fastest I've ever accepted a trade in my fantasy football career. I think Chance said it was 3 seconds. It's very quick.
So quick.
I think CeeDee Lamb is a better player. I think he has a quarterback long term. I don't know how long Russell will be there. Again,
So
George
it's
Pickens.
super. Yeah, it's super important to understand the context of what's going on here for those that are watching. Justin has a keeper league. So regular redraft, where you're redrafting every year, we are saying you need to trade away CeeDee Lamb. And the CeeDee Lamb for George Pickens, I think we absolutely all agree is the right move. If you can get a Pickens level wide receiver right now for Lamb, you smash it 30 seconds ago. So I agree with you, Chance. CeeDee Lamb is a guy, sell the name, get somebody that maybe has Cooper Rush as a quarterback for whatever reason. Let him try to do that stack. But yep, I agree. Sell away. Justin, who is a guy that you are selling away? Sell him high.
I don't got to sell yet. I got 2 buy guys.
Okay, we can go with buys. Sure.
Yeah, you should buy. I'm glad to provide the sells. You can provide the buys.
So 2 guys that I think you should try and go out and get right now I hate to say is Calvin Ridley.
I love that.
He is all the vacated targets, all that stuff. Like, he had a huge game, but since Hopkins left, it just feels like he's gonna get everything. 8 targets, 9 targets, 15, 8, 9. And his schedule the next couple weeks: Minnesota, Houston, Washington, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Indianapolis. They're all very bottom tier defenses. Pretty crazy. I think you got to get him, and then kind of alluding to
Before you do that, Justin, I want to talk about buying low versus buying high.
Yep.
You won't be able to buy Calvin Ridley low. You're going to have to buy high. So I think give somebody an idea of what you would sell to get Ridley. Would you sell a Pickens for a Ridley?
No, probably not Pickens. Probably not that guy. Probably DK, Devontae,
Okay.
Garrett Wilson. I would probably both give up for him. Those are a few guys. Just because I feel like DK's been super iffy injury wise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nope, that's fair. Okay, on to the next. I just want to make sure our listeners would understand what we were saying.
Yeah. My next guy, I talked a little bit about Pearsall. So it feels like Jauan Jennings has fully taken over the X spot
Love that. Love it.
from Ayuk. I don't think Jauan Jennings has a lot of name value. I think a lot of people see him as a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. He had 11 targets against Tampa, 7 receptions, 93 yards. We get the Pearsall had a really long touchdown. Fine and dandy. His next 5 games, I guess you could say: Seattle, Green Bay, Buffalo, Chicago. Like those, he has a very nice playoff schedule. I think you can get him for relatively cheap. Maybe I don't know. Chance could probably allude to this. Sutton's had a really good year. I don't know how he would fill Sutton for Jauan Jennings, Devontae Smith for Jauan Jennings, JSN for Jauan Jennings. Those are a few names that kind of pop out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Cortland's been really good, consistent.
I think Cortland is a great buy right now because I think the Broncos, Bo Nix is airing it out, and he's starting to get that connection with Sutton, and they're in we need to win mode. Like they just took the number 1 team in the AFC to the last second of a game, and I think they fully believe that if they win out, they could win 10 games this season. And I think in order to do that, you're going to have to be comfortable throwing the ball. And I think Cortland Sutton's a great buy for sure, but I do love the Jennings buy as well. I think JSN for Jennings would be an absolute great deal.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. We all believe that JSN is a sell high. Remember, he came off that 13 targets, 7 catches for 180 yards and 2 TDs. So hopefully you listened to us last week and you've made that trade already because you're running out of time. But I 100% agree. Chance, let's bounce back to you on your other sell.
I have a sell, and these are the hardest sells to make because it's always hard to sell an RB1. But everywhere that I have Najee Harris, I'm selling him.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that makes
Najee
sense.
Harris has, his last couple of games, 19 points, 16 points, 14 points, 11 points. He is an RB1 if you look at his points right now. But the remainder of his schedule, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati. If you take the rest of the games he has to play and average the number of points those teams give up to running back ones, it's 4. It's 4 points. That's the average points that those teams give up to running back combined. So, Najee Harris, they have a really tough running back road ahead of them. A lot of those, Baltimore, Cleveland, Kansas, they're just really good defenses. Philadelphia, good defense. So if you can sell Najee Harris right now on what he's done and go get a Tyrone Tracy, go get a Chase Brown. You can get these guys who are not big names, who are really producing right now. You can get those for a Najee Harris, right? I think those are definitely guys that I would go pursue.
One more I'll throw at you, Kareem Hunt. I would be selling Kareem Hunt. He scored 5 touchdowns since being part of the team, and that's really been his saving grace. He's only averaging 3.6 yards a carry. Pacheco's coming back anytime soon. Now is the perfect time to sell high end Kareem Hunt to see if you can upgrade your running back room or maybe even a wide receiver room. So go get him. Go get him. Is there one more? Well, let's see if we can give a bonus. One more buy that you think we should get. Maybe a running back, wide receiver, or maybe even a tight end.
One more buy. Oh, a tight end would be great. Let me look at my tight end shopping list. Do you guys have fantasy shopping lists?
I don't think you can get K. Dalton, but frick, man. He'd
be awesome.
K. Dalton is one. Mark Andrews, I think you should have got him way earlier. I think I talked about that in the earlier episodes. there was a few in my leagues where people were just dropping Mark Andrews. I was like, okay, I'll just go swoop him up. That's fine with me. How do you guys feel about Hawkinson?
I think Hawkinson he's a great buy. I would love to go get Hawkinson. The remaining strength of schedule for tight ends, Hawkinson and the Minnesota Vikings, they're top 5 for easiest schedule remaining for tight ends. Their opponents average 19.4 points given up to tight ends in full PPR. So, I mean, Hawkinson, I think, is a great buy. What about David Njoku? Do you guys think you could go buy David Njoku right now? He feels like a name that had a lot of buzz. And then recently with the way that the Browns looked, they looked awesome against Baltimore, but how quickly people, I feel like as soon as they went and just absolutely crapped the bed against the Chargers, I feel like the sentiment is, well, they're the Browns again. I feel like David Njoku is a guy that could be had, and they still don't have that many weapons on their offense. I mean,
yeah. Plus, he's coming off a bye, so people just forget. And then he, like, looking at his stats, 7, 14, 7, 7 are his targets. Like, I'll take that any day of the week for tight ends.
Yeah. If you're averaging 7 targets, I mean, he's averaging more than 7 targets over the last 4 games. But I think that you could go and get David Njoku pretty easily. And he's one of the only weapons with a Jameis Winston who, it doesn't matter the record of the Browns. Jameis Winston's going to throw the ball.
100%.
I think a guy you could get also, and it might be a little controversial, where maybe we're tired of waiting, but you can get him pretty cheap. But I think Kincaid hasn't really done much all year. He's hard. It's difficult, but man, the talent's still there. You are rolling the dice because I don't think he's had, let me take a peek here. Kincaid has only had, he's finished going from week 10, 27, 20, 15, 20. He's had a couple of top 10 finishes, had a top 5 in week 3. I just think in order for the Bills to make a push towards the end here, they have to get him involved. So I'm willing to gamble with it. I'm probably not paying very much for him. Maybe I buy him a little bit heavy, but it's tough. It's my thought. Justin shaking his head, it's like, we're done with him, and he's going to might be on one of our lists here coming up. But I think he still has the ability to get there. It just doesn't seem to be part of the system right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Laporte is a guy that you might be able to get too, even though he did have a strong finishing. He's just, to me, he's touchdown dependent. Is kind of where Laporte is. So.
Yep.
Those are your ads and drops and some trades we've talked about. Let's jump right into our kind of mid-season awards. And we've got a list here that we've kind of compiled, and I'm going to ask these guys kind of go through it and see. Again, this is just our opinion here at 208, what we like, what you may not like it, but just want to spark discussion. While we do that, don't forget to like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Man, we love talking ball. We just want you to win your fantasy football league. So right out of the gate, so I want to just talk about the best rookie this year, because this rookie class was pretty loaded with wide receivers, quarterbacks, even a tight end we could have thrown in there. Who is our best rookie this year? Who is I guess you can say rookie MVP if you want to say it, but Justin, you want to start first?
I'm gonna go tight end because he's just doing it. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 top 10 finishes, and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 5 finishes, which is unreal. So Brock Bowers, my rookie of the year, like I didn't have a lot of faith in him. I didn't think he would. I just thought he was too small. He didn't look like a traditional tight end, but he's a good player, man. 11 points, 18 points, 23, 16, 19, 10, 15. Coming off the bye, he has a pretty difficult schedule, but man, he's just a really good player. I think it'll be interesting to see if he does take that Sam Laporta dip, but he doesn't seem too touchdown dependent. He's very much a yards after catch, a little bit like Kittle. So you might be able to have that sustaining power, and where he is the one next year, he's a dog. He's really good at football.
He certainly is. Chance, we had Brock Bowers was Justin's pick for rookie of the year. Who would you pick? Who is your guy?
My mid-season rookie of the year so far. There's so many rookies that have been really good. I think that for me, like when you talk about those surprise rookies, it's really hard right now for me to not pick Tyrone Tracy. I mean, he's been a guy who he's been a guy who didn't really start out strong, but he's a guy that we've been able to pick up. If you were able to get off the waiver wire, he's a guy that really should finish the season strong. He looks really good. I feel bad for that fumble he had to like lose the game this weekend. That's super tough. But for me, I mean, he's the most productive rookie running back so far this year. And every year there's a rookie running back that shows up that is good, that sometimes it's the guy you expect. Sometimes it's not the guy that you expect. He's been that rookie running back that's really showed up and showed out this year so far.
Yeah, that's another good pick. I certainly agree. I'm going to go with JD5, Jaden Daniels. He's got seven top 12 finishes in fantasy football at arguably one of the hardest positions, coming into a team that was absolutely atrocious last year. It's hard. He's in there with Caleb Williams and Drake May and a lot of other good rookie quarterbacks that he was competing against for that rookie position. But Jaden Daniels has done very, very well. So it's been pretty good to watch. He wasn't as good last week, finished up in the 25th, but I do like him a lot. Again, very, very tough. So three different players, three different positions. Certainly any one of those three would be good. Let's go to our next one. Best waiver wire pickup out of the gate. Chance, I'm going to start with you on who you.
He's going to pick the same guy.
That's okay.
Man. Can. I would have known if you guys had sent me the list of what we were going over.
Check the private chat.
I'm
in the private chat. It's me.
I'm in it, and it's not there. I have zero private chat.
He's blind right now. Love it. Let's go.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's why I'm just rolling with it right now with these waiver pickups. Mid-season waiver pickup of the year. Oh man,
I can go first, so Chance can think about it.
Why don't you go first? Because again, I was trying to message you guys what this list was, and then my mic and everything shut down. So that was so fun. God, guys, I love
mine is the easiest pick because it happened probably. I'm in 7 leagues, which is probably 6 too many.
Yes.
It's like I've just in way too many. It's been very overwhelming, and being a head coach and then running a podcast. It's a lot going on in my life. Jordan Mason. He has been so good, and it was so fun to ride that wave for 10 weeks and just have a top 10 running back. Like his first 4 weeks, man. Number 3 on the week, number 8 on the week, number 4 on the week. He's been a pretty consistent RB2, and I'm sad the ride's over, but like, man, that was a fun first 10 weeks. Like he was really fun to watch play football.
Yeah, Justin, I'm going to agree with that. Jordan Mason is my vote too. He single-handedly carried those CMC owners if they chose to pick him up. If they didn't, somebody else got him. What a great pick for those, or for the early first part of the season, I should say, first half of the season.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I feel like running backs always dominate this discussion because wide receiver waiver wire pickups, they can be great for 2 weeks. They can be hot. They can be cold. But another great waiver wire pickup that I did not see coming was Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, for what he's been, being able to pick him up, he's old, he's washed, his second attempt in Kansas City, but he looks good. He looks rejuvenated, and I know his production is going to dip with Isaiah Pacheco coming back, but I think Kareem Hunt, for me, that's an easy waiver wire pickup winner because he's made a difference on teams.
100%. So to this point, who has been our biggest disappointment? Who is somebody that just like, wow, that hurt?
Let's go, baby. I don't want to do it to him.
I got one.
Okay, all right. Chance can go first.
And this is hard because this player he's had great weeks. When he has played, he has won me weeks. But for me, it's got to be T. Higgins. T. Higgins has been so disappointing because he plays and you see it. You're like, oh my gosh, he's that guy. And there were stretches of the season when he was playing really well. And I said, oh, hell yeah, I got that guy. He just started the season alert, but he is really the number of games that he has had to be out and the questions coming into the offseason of whether he's going to play or whether they're going to tag him or what he was going to do. I just think T. Higgins has been a guy that not only did you draft him high, but he's shown flashes like, oh, this is why I did it. But then he has absolutely disappeared on weeks when you need him. And to me, T. Higgins, he's been a disappointment this year.
Justin?
I have two, but I want to hear what Matt has to say for his disappointment first, because I got two of them that are bad.
Okay. I'm going to go with the biggest one there is. He was number one draft pick is CMC. I know he was injured. I know he was, but you draft him, expect him to play. It's unfortunate, and he ended up with that way. He's got the second half of the season, but to me, just the first half, it's CMC.
So true.
So, man, I was going to pick one of my guys, but I'm going to go a different way this time. Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like, he was a top 5 pick. He's had one wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 game this whole year. He's finished 4. That was week 1. The rest of the weeks, 52, 57, 57, 36, 85, 42, 29, 22. And he's a top 5 pick. Like, I get Tua got hurt, but you are supposed to be competing with Justin Jefferson as the best receiver in the league. And his snap shares haven't been terrible. I don't know what happened. If you got Tyreek Hill, you're probably 1-8, like my keeper league team is right now. Those are huge. Your one pick cannot do that. You're still okay with Garrett Wilson if for some reason you took him in the first. But man, having overall 50, lower than 50 overall wide receiver rankings, as a round 1 pick, is rough.
That is tough. All right, moving on. So biggest surprise. So I think what we'll go with this is biggest surprise, either good or bad. You can go either way, right? We've kind of talked about the best stuff, but biggest and the disappointment. But your biggest surprise, wow, I was not expecting that. So if you got it, Justin, let's start off.
Give it to me, man.
Go ahead, Justin. Go ahead.
If you take my guy right now, I just have a feeling you're going to take my guy right now.
Oh, no. It's Matt's guy.
Okay, then it's
Go ahead. Let's roll.
Matt talked about him all off season. I was like, Matt is a crazy person. I was like, Matt has no idea what he's talking about. What the heck? Austin Eckler is relevant.
Okay.
What is going on?
Wow.
He has been so good the past 2 weeks without Brian Robinson. I have used him in my guillotine league, and as I just got to start somebody that gets me 10 points, and he has been so good. He's been returning kicks. He doesn't look terrible. Chance talked a lot about Brian Robinson at the beginning of the season. I hope he comes back this week because he's a good running back. I just want to see him play. That Washington offense I thought was not going to be good. Jaden Daniels is a revelation for them. They are going to be good for the next 10 years, I hope. Hopefully they don't Robert Griffin him. But, man, Austin Eckler, what is going on? What the heck?
It's certainly a big surprise.
He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide receiver. Running back 2 weeks. He's been really good, especially these past 2 weeks, man. He gets the receiving work. Man, he has been a revelation. I thought he was done. I thought he was going to be out of the league, but he's been really good. I've been pleasantly surprised by him.
Chance, who is your biggest surprise so far this first half of the season?
I have a guy, and I have 0 shares of this guy because we talked about his teammates ad nauseum this offseason, and it's Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney has been such a surprise. He's top 8 wide receiver on the season. And that is so mind-boggling to me that he just feels like I've never known of a number 1 wide receiver, top 12, that has been so under-discussed in fantasy as Darnell Mooney. And it's so sneaky. He's 19 on the season as far as average points per game. But still, that's still so good. And that's, he's competing with guys average points per game who have not played every game. He's been consistent. He's been available. I think Darnell Mooney's been such a shock to owners. And if you have him, you are so thrilled.
Love it. Let's go.
100%. And the funny thing is, he's still not talked about. Like, you don't hear him. I mean, people still don't talk about him. He's just killing it.
Maybe.
So, all right. My guy's a quarterback, and nobody really talked about him. We just kind of rolled our eyes, and I'm not sure why, but where did Baker Mayfield come from?
Oh my
He
gosh.
has looked so stinking good this year. You know, he had a rough game last week, but still, he's had 5 top 5 finishes this year. And you're just like, what the heck? And he's still doing okay, even with his top 2 receivers out. So, man, I'm unbelievable. Again, it's the first half of the season. The kids just rocked it. We never even talked about him early on, and just been crushing it. So he's been a big surprise for me, for sure. Moving on, I do want to talk about mid-season MVP. Who do we like as our MVP? Your guy halfway through who's leading it. We probably all agree on it, but we'll kick it out. Justin, let's start with you. Who's the MVP this year so far?
I feel like this offense has been so fun to watch, and it was good. Like when they signed this player, I was like, this is going to be super interesting to see how these two players how they merge together.
We're all nodding.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy for all of us.
And it's like, how are they going to merge this offense? And Derrick Henry, holy crap,
unbelievable!
He has been so good, so good. I mean, he's had 1 week where he wasn't a top RB2 and he finished 25. He's just a really good running back. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he came from Mars. They don't make people like him. He is a freak athlete. Every time I think of Derrick Henry, I think of that meme where it's him standing next to Mark Ingram, who's a Heisman Trophy winner, and he just dwarfs him. Like, people like him are not supposed to run the ball like him. He is a huge human being. Like, once he gets going, and like, I think one thing people forget is like, the Ravens' offensive line is not great. He's earning these yards. Like, it's not the Detroit Lions. Like, it's not any of that. Like, he's running behind probably an average O-line with a few dudes on the O-line, but he has been super fun to watch this year.
Mm-hmm.
Chance, is that your guy or is it his teammate?
Listen, there are a couple of different guys that you could easily go with, and I will gladly take Lamar Jackson as my MVP. But Derrick Henry was right there with me, right? Like, this offense is absolutely cooking this year. And Lamar Jackson, like, as much of a surprise as Baker Mayfield has been, how nice has it been for Lamar Jackson to be Lamar Jackson? You know, like, Lamar Jackson he's throwing the ball, he's running the ball, he's running a good offense. Even he just looks, I hate saying this. I feel like he's playing the game even more like Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's just backyard football for him. And he's just doing crazy things. It's so slow. He's just having a great time, and he is winning fantasy. He's winning fantasy weeks for people.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chance. He gets my vote. He has not finished outside the top 12 in 10 weeks.
Mm.
He has 6 times finished in the top 5. His other ones were a 6, and then he had a 9, 10, and 12 finish. The guy is it's been phenomenal. We said it from day one. Go back. There's receipts available. We wanted to know how those two, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, were going to coexist. And I said, I feel sorry for defenses. I don't know what you're going to do. And it's been every bit of that. Even week 1, when we were like, that offense didn't look very well, Lamar Jackson was still quarterback 4. So I don't know what to tell you, but I could go 1-2 there. You know, either one. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson as mine, but unbelievable. He's been a lot of fun to watch. And I would love to see the teams that took Lamar Jackson and Henry. Oh, I would love because that was completely doable in the drafts this year. So, we kind of talked about rookie of the year, but I do want to just circle back around. I guess we kind of talked about his best rookie. I don't think we have to rehash that. Is there any other surprises that you didn't talk about that were like, hey, you know what? I was a little bit disappointed in some of these rookies that didn't do what we thought they would do.
Oh, that's a good one. Rookies that have disappointed so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like Xavier Worthy is worth mentioning because Xavier Worthy had so much hype in this offense. What could he do? They don't have any weapons. There were so many reasons why Xavier Worthy should work. And again, let's talk about holding receipts. Who said from the very beginning that the Chiefs can't draft good wide receivers? They just don't draft good wide receivers. And not that Xavier Worthy is bad, but I mean, he has been no different than Mecole Hardman. He's been no different than Sky Moore. Yeah. So I think he's probably one of the most disappointing for the excitement of, oh my gosh, the fastest 40 time ever with Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be unbelievable. And then after week 1, that hype, I think he's been probably one of the most disappointing rookies.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Man, we talked about it. They are looking for the replacement for a Tyreek Hill, but I think they want somebody like I forget his name from Philly.
Or Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. That's what they're looking for, and they've just not found. They keep throwing the same dart over and over, and they just have not found somebody like Deshaun Jackson. So
it just seems
Justin,
like,
your guy. Oh, go ahead.
Just to go on that, it seems like Patrick Mahomes just has a type of wide receiver, like very possession, very find the zone, like smart dudes like Hopkins and Kelsey. Like, hey, go find somewhere. I'll throw you the ball. It just seems like the speed receivers just aren't his cup of tea. Like, I get it, he has a huge arm. Like, that was very early in his career, but it just seems like he has a type.
Yeah,
agreed. Justin, who's your biggest rookie disappointment, or at least surprised?
I drafted this guy super hard in our rookie draft in the league that me and Chance are in, and I thought he would play at least week 5, week 6, and then it turned into week 7, week 8, and then they activated him off IR, and they're like, we're gonna wait the whole 21 days. He has a bye this week. He got all this hype, and it's just like nothing. So like Jonathan Brooks, I just wanted to see him this year, and like now there's like no sense in playing him. The Panthers are 2-7, whatever they are. 3, I don't know, but like
2-7. 2-8.
Yeah, something like that. I just wanted to see him play, which sucks. I just don't think they should play him now. Like, they're out. Like, just get a better draft pick. It's just tough. I just wanted to see him play. I think that was my biggest disappointment. So,
yeah, mine. You guys should know this already. Mine's Caleb Williams. Unfortunately, he just has not panned out with all the hype for the Bears. He's only finished inside the top 12 3 times, and pretty much everything outside of that's been in the 20s. Last week, he was outscored by Aaron Rodgers, who, okay, I'll give you that. It's just by namesake, but Cooper Rush. So if that tells you anything, it's been rough. Hopefully, again, this is mid-season stuff. Hopefully, some things will change here a little bit. Maybe Caleb can get it turned around. Everybody's disappointed in that Bears organization. They have all the tools. Everything's there. They just can't seem to put it together. But Caleb Williams is my guy. I'm hoping for him. I think he's a talented young man. I think he can do a lot of stuff, but rough. Kind of moving on. The last thing, who do you want to see second half take off? Who's a guy like, I think he can do it. The tools are there. I'm all in. I'm invested. Let's see how it goes for these next few weeks.
Let's see.
And we're talking any, not just rookies.
Anyone
that we're just like, hey, I really want to see. I have a guy that I really just think if you have him, he could be an absolute league winner. And if you don't have him, I think you should go trade for him. I watched DeAndre Hopkins be Patrick Mahomes' guy. And I remember they traded for him, and the conversation around D-Hop was he's washed. And then like that first game that he played after being traded, I was sitting with another league mate of mine, and I said, I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is washed. And he goes, I think he's still great. And I think the Chiefs are going to continue to chief. I think Lineberry nailed it on the head earlier. Pat loves those smart, hey, I'm just going to get open. Patrick Mahomes plays backyard football where it's kind of sloppy and there's not a lot of structure, and he runs around and he finds guys. He loves guys that are easy to find. And DeAndre Hopkins has huge hands. He can catch any ball. He's smart and he knows where to be. And I think that if the Chiefs want to, pick it up and kind of put it on that, hey, we can go out there and score and win, I think they're going to get their doors blown off by Buffalo this weekend. I truly believe Buffalo is going to smoke.
I freaking hope so.
They're going to absolutely smoke the Chiefs. But I think DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to be a guy that's on a lot of championship rosters. That's just how I feel about him. He's going to be one of those real common guys on championship rosters.
Yeah, I like that.
Justin, who's a guy that you're hoping for or you think you need to get? Who's somebody you're looking at?
Man, I am so excited for Nico Collins to come back. I am so excited. He is so fun to watch. Like, he was the wide receiver one when he got hurt, when he hurt his hamstring on that 70-yard touchdown, which was super funny. I was like, really? That's how you got hurt? Just blows by everybody, pulls his hamstring. But man, I'm super excited for him to just put it on people again. He's a fun player. He's my cup of tea at wide receiver. Those 6'4" guys that are just freaks. He's AJ Brown-esque. He's Julio Jones-esque. I'm so excited for him to put it on.
Yeah, fair enough. I can give you a couple guys that I think that I go there just briefly talking about it, but I hope to see a little bit more of Matt Stafford, the old man that seems to just is a Timex. He just takes a licking and keeps on ticking, right? That old commercial. Breece Hall, I hope, kind of figures it out. I hope they get going. The guy's too talented. The main guy that I want to see actually get something going, just because he had a lot of hype, and you study film, the dude's good. And I'm just not sure. They just haven't quite figured him out yet. I think it's coming. I'm not 100% sure. But I really want Marvin Harrison Jr.
There it is!
Marvin Harrison Jr. should be taken off. I mean, you look where he's finished. It's not good. He's nowhere near where he was drafted. But the ability's there. Can we get him there this second half? They're in playoff contention. Can we get things rolling? I want to see him do something. I'm hoping for him. I do have him in a couple of my leagues, so I'm a little bit biased, but I like him a lot. I hope he does well. And he has every opportunity to do so.
Yes, sir. Love that one.
That's a good one.
Go ahead, Chance.
I was just say that's super solid. I think Marv could be a guy that I agree is on winning rosters to finish the season, because I think they're just going to keep figuring it out with him and Kyler Murray and really make a playoff push. It's crazy to me. I thought going into this season, the AFC was going to be way more competitive than the NFC. It's like, oh my gosh, AFC, there's going to be such a toss-up for those wild card. And like the bottom 3 wild card positions are all 500 or losing teams, like Cincinnati, Denver, and Indy. Like that's it. That's like who's competing for like the last couple spots. And they're not great teams. But the NFC has been so much more competitive and like so much more fun to watch because you just don't know week to week.
Fair enough. I do want to kind of move it on here. We've got a little bit of time. I know we've been going for nearly an hour, but I do want to cover. I'm putting the spot on Justin and Chance because I didn't talk about what we're going to do here. That's what I was thinking. But I want to briefly touch on a player from each game last week. I'm going to run through the score and I'm going to say, what do we do in this guy? What do we hope? So the Bengals Ravens, excellent game. Justin called it, said, I hope we see fireworks. And oh my gosh, we saw fireworks. The guy that I want to talk about, Joe Burrow, is he back?
Yeah, he's
back. He's back.
He's top 5 guy. Top 5 guy the rest of the way.
Perfect. Patriots, Bears. Patriots knocking off the Bears. Again, we beat that to a dead horse. A guy that I'm interested in talking about, Ramondre Stevenson. Is he a guy that you want on your team? Is he a guy that you can, try to get him for cheap?
I think with Ramondre, my biggest issue with him is that Drake May is looking good. And I think that the Patriots are going to do the same thing that we talked about with Brian Thomas Jr. Like, I think the Patriots are going to see what Drake May has. They're going to keep giving him more in the passing game, and they're going to try to just open the playbook up for him. I think it's going to lead to a lot more scoring through the air for New England as they try that. And that may lead to more red zone opportunities for Ramondre, but I just don't see them ground and pounding the ball with where they're at right now. I think they're going to want to see what they have in their quarterback, their rookie quarterback.
Fair enough. Giants fall to the Carolina Panthers. Again, kind of a pillow fight for sure there. Jalen Coker, 8 targets, 3 for 41. Any interest?
Deeper leagues, yes. He seems like the one there. They got rid of a lot of guys. Thielen's coming back from IR, but I think they're going to try to give Coker every chance he gets.
And Leggette's been a little disappointing. Yeah, I feel like Xavier Leggett could have been on the list of disappointing rookies. But I do think Jalen Coker, if he is performing the way that he is, why not continue to see if he can run opposite of Xavier Leggett, and that you found a late round steal in him.
Fair enough. The Bills beat the Colts. The game was not as close as what the score panned out, but Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 114 yards, 5 carries. Still on board with Jonathan Taylor?
Yep.
That's an easy. That's a softball one.
I think he's a top 5 running back to finish the season. I think he's a top 5 guy moving forward.
Superflex Joe Flacco, right? So 220, 272, 2 touchdown, 3 INTs. Worried? Not worried?
Feels a little Jameis Winston-y to me. Like,
yeah.
I think it's either going to be Jekyll and Hyde, like good games, bad games. But I think there's some other options, Superflex-wise.
Fair enough. And then the last guy I want to talk about, Alec Pierce had 7 targets, 4 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. Yay or nay?
Nay.
No, that was a garbage time touchdown where they just threw the ball up to him. So,
okay. Broncos, Chiefs. Again, we hammered that a little bit. We talked about Sutton. We think he's a buy. Again, we talked a little bit about Estime. Chance, give me somebody you're trading for Sutton so you can go get him.
Somebody I'm trading for to go get.
Sutton? Yeah, I'm gonna trade away to get Sutton. I apologize.
Who's the guy I have that I would trade away to go get Sutton?
I'll give you some names.
Yeah. What do you got, Justin? My first thought was like, would I try to go trade a guy that I might drop to go get Sutton because people don't.
Okay, I'll take that.
Good. Like what? I don't think I could get it done, but I would send Deontay Johnson. There's still just enough buzz around Deontay Johnson for Courtland Sutton, but I don't think I'd get it done after this one.
Tank Dell.
I would trade Tank Dell to get Courtland Sutton.
Brian Thomas Jr.
That's it.
Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yeah.
I'd trade him to get Courtland Sutton. I think the Broncos are in it more than the Jags are.
Yep.
Okay. Falcons lose to the Saints. Sorry, Justin. We did talk about it a little bit. Derek Carr, 296 or 269, 2 touchdowns. Had a bounce back game. You in on him or off on him?
I don't want anything to do with Derek Carr. I mean, I think the only asset on the Saints I want is Kamara.
Yep, I agree. He had 2 big long passes to Valdez-Scantling. That was a lot of his points.
He would have had another 80-yard touchdown
to Kamara.
Taysom Hill. So there is that.
Yep.
We love Bijan Robinson. Everybody's on Bijan Robinson. This is a Bijan Jet Robinson channel. We know that. Pick one: Drake London, Darnell Mooney.
Oh, Lineberry, that's all you.
This is tough.
His answer is Kyle Pitts.
I think it's Mooney.
Nope. Okay.
Mooney just has some chemistry with Kirk Cousins. I don't know what it is. Kirk was very adamant about getting Mooney in the offseason. He trusts him a lot. He'll throw the ball up to him. He does not care.
49ers sneak out a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-20. I just had it. Bucky Irvin, Rachaad White.
Rachaad White, rest of the season.
I love Bucky, man. He's so fun to watch.
All right, Matt, you got a tiebreaker. You got a tiebreaker for us.
I want Bucky.
Yeah.
Yep. Pick one: Juwan Jennings, Ricky Parasol.
Juwan Jennings.
Okay. Easy. Very good. I've got to get back to my screen here. Sorry. Oh, why did I go that far? I didn't want to go that far. Kicked me the wrong one. Okay. Back to it. Steelers get by the Commanders. That was actually a really fun game to watch. 28-7-20. Yeah, I mentioned it already. Are you in on Jaylen Warren if you can get him?
No. I'm out on Jaylen Warren just because the Steelers also have such a murderer's row of games to finish up the season. It's the same reason why I said trade away Najee Harris. Like they just have a really rough rushing schedule coming up. I'm out on him.
Austin Eckler, you in or out?
If Brian Robinson comes back this week, then I'm out.
George Pickens or Terry McLaurin?
Oh, jeez, Terry.
I'm going George Pickens.
Terry.
Fair enough. Tough one. Very tough.
Tiebreakers.
Hopefully you
tiebreakers there, Matt. Have
Golly,
you seen George Pickens touchdowns grabs? That boy makes the
stuff he does.
Yeah.
The stuff he does.
I'm going Pickens.
What are you doing?
I'm going Pickens. Minnesota in a kind of a snooze fest against Jacksonville, 12-7. No scoring in this whatsoever. So Aaron Jones moving forward, somebody yay or nay? Has missed a little time, or not like a game, but during the game, and has always come back. But just curious your guys' pick.
I'm out on Aaron Jones because Aaron Jones made Cam Akers relevant for fantasy for like a third time this season. And I hate the Cam Akers trap. I think I'm out on Aaron Jones.
Nah, I want him. I think he's decent. He's in a good offense.
Yep, fair enough. Tight ends, TJ Hawkinson or Evan Ingram?
Evan Ingram.
I think I'm Hawk. I just want the offense.
I'm just going to trust the connection I've seen versus the connection I hope to see.
That's fair.
Fair enough. The Titans and the Chargers, and Justin said it earlier, Chargers sneaky offense looks kind of good. They beat the Titans 27-17.
The Raiders, I feel very bad for. 3 very good quarterbacks in that division, and you don't have anything close to them. That is rough.
So we talked about the Chargers. So let's talk about Justin Herbert. In or out?
In.
Yeah, I'm in. If he's on waivers, he should be picked up. Absolutely.
Gusta, you want Edwards or Dobbins?
Edwards.
I think JK, he still got the starting job. I don't know. He's still running routes. I think that's a big thing for me.
Fair enough. We talked about Calvin Ridley already. He's been tearing it up lately. Lad McConkey, in or out?
Yeah, if I trust Herbert as much as I do, I'm going to be in on Lad McConkey.
Okay.
E-dog.
Perfect. Again, we're just doing some speed stuff here. So thanks for joining. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're watching, ask questions. We want you to ask questions about how your team, what's your team doing? Let's get you squared away. We're almost to that trade deadline, so we're here to help you. In a kind of a shocking game, but maybe we shouldn't have been, the Eagles absolutely destroyed the Cowboys 34-6. Are you everybody on the Eagles? I think we all like. I did make a trade I traded away Devontae Smith, but Dowdle, in or out on Dowdle?
He is the number one graded offensive player for the Dallas Cowboys year to date. So I'm in on Rico Dowdle. I think he might be the only fantasy relevant player that they have for the rest of the season.
Justin?
Yeah, I agree with Chance on that.
Yep, I tend to agree. New York getting throttled by Arizona Cardinals, who are 6-4 in playoff contention. We talked a little bit about Trey Benson, in or out?
I'm in, and I think he should be on a roster because if James Conner finishes this season and plays every game, it'll be the first time in his NFL career.
That's very true.
You trust Breece Hall or no?
I trust Breece Hall.
As an RB2, yes, you have to. He's been that.
They have the second easiest. They have the second easiest running back schedule rest of season. The Jets do. Now I don't know if that's going to be good for Breece or good for Braylon, but it's going to be good for the Jets.
He's been the RB11 on the season. I mean, or not, maybe not that. It's rest of the season. Sorry, not on the season.
Fair.
But he's been decent.
Garrett Wilson or Devontae Adams?
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I'll go Garrett. That's tough.
That's consensus. Finally, in actually a really good fun game to watch. Detroit trailing the whole game pretty much. They beat the Texans 26-23. Lots of fun. Just a fun game. Jared Goff or CJ Stroud?
Goff rest of the season.
Yeah. CJ Stroud has not been the same. I don't know why.
Yeah. And remember, Goff threw 5 interceptions and you still win a game. That's amazing.
Goff threw 5 interceptions and he's only thrown 4 interceptions before that. This is the same quarterback who had a perfect game this season, who was 19 for 19. So like one was a Hail Mary. The other one was a 4th down throw into the end zone. Like 3 interceptions is bad. 5 interceptions is horrendous. But I just don't think you throw away what him and Ben Johnson have done all season long.
Agreed. In or out on JMO? It's been
out.
Jameis Williams.
I'm out on Jameson Williams.
I don't want him.
John Mechie had a heck of a game. 6 targets, 5 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. Raise an eyebrow or nah?
Nah, Nico's coming back this week.
Fair enough. I think I've got one more here. Dolphins Rams, which we talked a little bit about. And I'm a big Stafford guy, man. Love that guy. He's incredible. So let me throw this at you. You want Tua or Stafford rest of the season?
Stafford. Tua's gonna get a concussion again.
Oh man, I want Tua to come back and just be slanging it like he was, but I'm probably on the side of Stafford. The Rams are still competitive in their conference and in their division. And the Dolphins,
they're
3-6.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
So does that mean you're out on Jalen Waddle?
Out on Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
Agreed. Still got I was going to bring up Achane and Williams, but you're playing those guys anyway. So great breakdown. Lots of discussion tonight. We are an hour and 6 minutes in. Probably going to call it a night. Gentlemen, it's been fun to go through. We covered a lot of information real fast, and my goodness, my head's still spinning. Any final words before we sign off for tonight? Justin, let's start with you.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun weekend. I'm super excited. We got the high school game, Rocky versus Rigby, 1 versus 2 in the state of Idaho in 6A, and then we got Denver versus Atlanta this weekend. I'm super excited for that game. It's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a split household in the Require household. I'm going to have to tell Kiri she's going to have to text Arthur Blank and tell him that she's going to be watching the game with a Broncos fan. I'll let you know what Mr. Blank says in response.
Fair enough. Yeah, lots going on. Everybody, good luck their weekend. I definitely need luck. Bears are playing the Packers. That is always a rivalry game. And I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers will say something, even though he'll probably lose this week over the Jets, but he'll be rooting for the Packers. Until next time, we'll see you. Good luck. Best of luck. We want you to win. Let's rock out of here. No, you know what? No, we're going to come back tomorrow. I totally fibbed. We got sits and starts tomorrow. We're all in. So good luck on your waiver wires tonight. Hopefully you get some trades in. Get back here tomorrow. Let's see how those trades went. And we'll do this again. I'm excited. All right, guys. We'll see you later.